She is a dynamic human rights defender instrumental in architecting the uprooting of Yahya Jammeh after his brutal 22-year reign over the Gambia. VP Jallow Tambajang was former advisor on women and children's affairs to the first president of the Gambia and has chaired the Gambia National Women's Council and represented it at the Gambia National Economic and Social Council, bringing about the strengthening of the National Council Women's Bureau and key women NGOs. VP Tambajang was also former Secretary of State, Health, Social Welfare and Women's Affairs. She is currently one of the most coveted peace mediators in Africa and has brokered peace in Liberia, where she worked for 5 years during the Charles Taylor government, in Togo in 2017 between government and the opposition, and in Guinea-Conakry during its post-presidential election crisis in 2020. In Sierra Leone just recently, after their 2023 post-presidential election crisis, amongst other mediation initiatives she has headed. She is now ready to step into the #1 job in the presidency. With an agenda heavily focused on tackling the many challenges young people in the country face, with us today is a lady every young woman and every man should emulate. A woman that has held the Gambian flag high on the world stage. This is who we have in our midst today. And some fun facts, because I've read quite a few very important roles, but this woman also is just, she's a mother to us all, and she has a great sense of humor. But some of the fun facts about her, she's Fula, obviously. Tambajang is Mandinka, that's what I mean. A Mandinka because she married a Mandinka from Bansa. A Wolof because obviously if you're in Gambia, you must speak Wolof. Aku because her great friends and her adopted mom was Aku. Lingala because she lived in Congo for many years. French because she studied it because was briefly a French teacher. She is definitely a girl from Briggs, aka Brikama. And the question here is, what can she not do? This, ladies and gentlemen, is who we have in our midst. Thank you very much. I'd like to now, at this moment, introduce our very beautiful, incredible mother. Take the stage and, share a few words, and let's get the ball rolling on it.
So So that when you read the manifesto or you read my strategic plan for the country, each one of you will see his or her voice and its or her contribution to this important document. So I think the floor is open. I know the first question would be, why do you want to contest for the presidency? I think that question is pertinent. I am doing that because of an unfulfilled agenda. 2016, we have been in the national struggle where every one of you have participated either in the forefront or back. And for 20 years, maybe realistically for 19 years, we have had a national struggle to change our government from autocratic rule to democracy. And I have served as vice president under the current regime. The question is, why did I leave? I left because I was sacked for political reasons. But more importantly for me, I left on the basis of principles. Because the agenda for which we fought day and night in Tyraba Beach, in small huts, under the mango trees, under the baobab trees, are yet to be fulfilled. We adopted a comprehensive agenda ranging from constitutional reform, legislative reform, land reform, security reform, civil service reform, and so forth. And I realized that I swore on the Holy Quran to serve my people, to serve my country. I see myself as a servant, not only servant of God, yes first, but also servant of the people who should listen and work according to the needs and realities of our people. I saw that the agenda has been derailed. None of the reform agenda has been adopted. Hence we see the current president asking for the third term. That is against democratic principles. Even though the constitution, we don't have a new constitution, but leaders must have moral responsibility. He had a moral contract with us, social contract, to say 3 years. 3 years, I must say that explained to me, the chairperson of the National Coalition, there was no way we can fulfill 3 years because we did not find anything in the coffers and we needed money to really do the reforms that we adopted. But we say we extended it to 5 years, and then after 5 years, I did call the attention of the president that once God has given you the extent of 5 years, it is important that you honor your promise. One thing I know, I believe in the Holy Quran, I believe in God Almighty. So whatever I say, I want to stand by those principles. If I cannot be part of those principles, if I cannot be part of those actions, then I need to stand up for civil society, for which you know before, to stand up and see how much we can mobilize ourselves, forget our differences, and ensure that we look at the country first. Let's put the country first. So on this note, it is very challenging for me to contest for the presidency because we know the constraints that women have. But I am one woman that doesn't fear. We have fought the most powerful man, Yahya Jammeh, most powerful, most popular, wealthy than the current president. And we fought him tooth and nail. And we saw the results because we were together as a nation. If we come again as a nation, and we decide and we are committed to really change this undemocratic regime of Adama Barrow, we will do it. So on this note, I will now give the floor to our able, excellent moderator, who is also one of my favorite daughters, to really conduct the affairs of this evening. Thank you very much.
Ma'am, I would like to just open the floor, but first, of course, I'll ask some very pertinent questions that I know a lot of us have. Some of the key questions I believe today, a lot of people have. Don't worry, the questions will come to everyone. I open the floor, we'll just start the conversation a little bit, and then do not worry. I know a lot of us are here are eager to ask very pertinent questions, and we will all have our turn. That is why she's here. First, I would like to ask, why does this campaign matter? Why does this campaign, why does it matter?
The campaign matters because we want to have everybody to stand up for the Gambia. Many political parties are here, starting for the First Republic of His Excellency Dawda Kairaba Jawara, who I must acknowledge was a Democrat that brought everybody on board. We had peace and stability, and of course, most importantly, they fought for independence for us. But other political parties, as time goes on, other political parties came, and of course there are some of the political parties that really stood up for their ideologies and their commitments to advance the country. But because of the measure of understanding, the level of understanding of our people, some of those very few political parties couldn't make it to the executive. I acknowledge them. I don't want to name names, but I acknowledge them, and I'm sure all of you know those political parties. So people matter, and for me, young people, men and women, matter to me. My agenda is to put people at the center, at the epicenter of everything that I do. People matter, so I cannot really do anything without bringing you on board and having this conversation with you so that I know what is bothering you. I know what is bothering you from a developmental perspective, from diplomatic perspective, and political perspective. But in what of you Wahji Tiboram Dagana Jack. So if I listen to you, when I finish my political agenda, each one of you will definitely see that this was my voice, this was my contribution in developing the agenda, which is of course a process and not a static situation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. What people have to say about you being too old to run for office?
For me, age is a number. I have never seen age as an impediment. Age is like having a physically disabled person or a person that has been underprivileged in terms of accessing opportunities. For me, what is important in life is to have the competence, is to love the people you serve or you want to serve, is to have the health, the ability in terms of capacity. Because even under the constitutional provision, the only thing that can disable the president is when the president is incapacitated, when he or she can no longer perform. I have been struggling all my life. I was married young. I had children, came back and went back to school privately. And today, I struggle to become the vice president of this country, not because of position, but because of the commitment to serve my people. So old age, and also we have to recognize, yes, I'm old, But I was in the forefront of the struggle, national struggle, to remove a dictator of 22 years. I slept only for 3 hours, and the rest of the day I was between hospitals, I was between the courts, and I was between everybody among the victims that suffered the atrocities of Jammeh. So whether it's me or any other person, we must not use age as an impediment to serve the highest office of this country. I am capable, I have the experience, I have the competence, I have the knowledge, the connections with the international community. Because when we had the change, I played a catalytic role to run around to mobilize $40 million from the World Bank. African Development Bank came, EU came. I was able to lead the development of the National Development Plan 2018-2021. So my capacity is there, and I'm a workaholic, I'm a perfectionist. So whether I am elected or I'm not elected, I will continue to stand for this country. So my prayer is for you, for God to put me in your hearts, to vote me in as a president, and to see the difference. I also have compassion. I am a family woman, and I have worked in the struggle in Liberia, in Sierra Leone, in Togo, where you had fighting and conflicts. And even with my age, I was able to make a difference. Today, Sierra Leone is in peace because we had the EU and the African Union and ECOWAS that selected me to be the peace mediator between the opposition party and the ruling government. And even in Gambia here, each time there was a problem, I stood in parliament to defend our country, to defend the executive, to defend our country. The Faraba incident, the Busumbala incident, the Manjago incident, so many problems that happened. And I also defended many people who were wrongfully dismissed from government. So it is not the age that matters, as long I have the competence and particularly the commitment to serve this country.
Thank you very much. I hope that puts that to rest. For the youth.
My plan for the youth is to have many programs to empower them. Economic programs, social programs, and also programs. My government is going to promote the empowerment of youth, men and women. I've worked in the project area, project development for the past 30 to 35 years. Personally, I can design a project within 5 working days, and I can resources. So I'm a technocrat, politician by default, but a technocrat. I'm a fully technocrat that has been groomed by the United Nations Development Program. So I know how to look at resources, I know how to engage the international donor community. But my thinking is that we are going to first of all use the resources that we have, the domestic resources, before we go and give the hand to the international donor community. What I want to do is to transform the productive sectors of this economy, the agricultural sector, so that it can attract young people to become farmers, using the agro-industrial development value addition. We have the horticulture, we have everything, every domain, including also sports. Sports also is a lucrative business. So I know that I can do a lot of things that can make our youth to stay here in the country. Our youths are dying in the Mediterranean seas because they lack opportunities. So my agenda is going to be inclusive agenda. Even in the government, in cabinet, I will have some youths in cabinet. Because I don't believe saying we should wait for the youths, we should allow them to wait for us. This is a time where young people and elderly should work together to build the nation. Because without experience, you can never make it. And if we continue leaving you behind, there's no way you can gain that experience. So in my government, you will have young people as ministers, you will have young people as farmers, we will have young people as entrepreneurs, and also we can have young people in the diplomatic service. So this is the agenda I have. The details of the agenda when I'm launching the party. So many commissions have been established in this country, but no one is going to see my name on those commissions. If the government doesn't owe me, I don't owe them anything. So you can rely on me. You can depend on me. And I think we need to also have a change of mindset. Let us try the women. We've been trying the men all the time. We've been trying the men. And apart from Sadawda Kairaba Jawara, who among the men that have led us has done what inspires our people? Today, the 22 years, initially, because I'm very honest, initially, His Excellency, the former Excellency Yahya Jammeh, he tried his best, but because soldiers are not meant to govern, and because they didn't have the experience, there was no way he could make that impact that required. Then this one came and said, you know, that his niche is infrastructure. Are we going to eat infrastructure roads? Are we going to just sit and drink water? What we need is the first of all, my agenda is the economy. How do I move the hardship that we are all experiencing in this country? Bag of rice was how much? Now today 2,000 and something. So my first agenda is to improve the economy. How do I improve the economy? Is to ensure that we have strategies to reduce our debt burden. Today the threshold of the debt, we are servicing debts more than using it for quality of education, quality of health, agriculture and the productive sectors. So for me, when I come back, I'm not saying that I'm not like other leaders that will tell you in 3 months, we are going to have a bag of rice at $300. That's unrealistic. But I will try my best, just as I have tried. Within the year of my vice presidency, I was able to bring so many things in this country, including Turkish Airlines. I was able to bring the technical assets of Turkish Airlines here to support the scholarships of children. I was able to start begging for donors and also other countries to really help us to develop the youth capacity for entrepreneurship. So I was able to work with the EU to bring in the Women Enterprise Development Fund, which is now being politicized. It was meant for all women and young entrepreneurs, but now it's mandated, or it's being implemented by the Women's Gender Ministry rather than having it at the national level. So there are so many opportunities, and already I've started engaging donors who are willing and open to help me have so many projects in development sectors. I want to really, when I'm holding a stick at 90 years old, to look back and see you young people being in different positions and taking care of your families. There's no young person that doesn't want to earn a living to help his or her parents. But now you cannot do it. You can't do it, and the situation is really there. We need to move forward. Thank you.
Independence and leadership.
Independence for me is sovereignty. That is depending on your people first. Depending on your people, meaning you have to build their capacities and provide them with opportunities. If you provide people, everybody cannot be in the public service. but you can have regulatory measures to ensure that you have the enabling environment where everybody can create a niche for yourself. Independence means you have to be self-reliance. You remember Sadauda Kairaba Jawara, may Allah grant in Jannatul Firdaus. He had the tacit philosophy. You remember tacit, self-reliance. Everybody said tacit, and everybody was in your corner, where you held with you, even if you were a street vendor, you were able to improve your capacity to feed your family and to contribute to national development. But now we don't have that. What happened with this government is moving people from the streets, bulldozing them. That's the wrong approach. Before you bulldoze people, you have to really inform them that you are moving their markets. But you have to give them a replacement. You have to build markets. You have to give them access. You have to give them the facilities before you bulldoze them. I was against it, and I did bring it to the attention of the executive, including the president, that that was a wrong move that he did to the country. Moving people that were looking for like $1,000 a day. Moving them, now where are they? Most of them are hiding out. They spread their marks when they see the police, they go. But after moving them, what else? The way they were moved was very disrespectful. Very disrespectful. And I think that for me, I will be creating, strengthening the markets that are available, because I'm not going to invent the wheel. What I'm going to do is to see where the communities want a market. I will try my best to have a market. Where there are markets, I will improve the conditions of the market so that whoever wants to do anything, undertake any enterprise, you can be comfortable with that. So this is Ligue bu Moko Boka. Te balanga boka nit ligue nga commence si Jilben. So this is Jilben, and I can see around, looking around, I have also seen a husband here. I have so many husbands. So many husbands. People who say I'm old, they should check the number of husbands I have. So, you know, and I recognize him. He's a politician, and I wish him very well. He's a great supporter in this room. Thank you so much.
Please, if you have a question, signal him so you can write it down to avoid a little bit of commotion. So while I'm asking and she's answering, if you have a question, please just... Well, because I had to open the floor, my dear friends. By the way, he was my classmate in journalism school, don't mind him. Thank you very much. So my last question before we open the floor, what are your goals for 2026 and beyond? We all want to know. I mean, like you said, this is a group full of young people, and we've heard a lot from a lot of different people. And for you, like you said, as a woman, this is very, very key, and it's a very, very bold step in the history of Gambian politics specifically. And a lot of young people look up to you. A lot of young women look up to you. And I think when we hear everything you've said so far, in my opinion, is in alignment with a lot of us here would like to see the Gambian be at. Specifically, what are your goals for 2026 and beyond?
My goal for 2026 is to ensure that we have inclusive economic growth and development. If you look at the development trajectory in most of these countries, they have inclusive growth, which is measured by GDP, and rather than the human capital development, like people accessing social services, education, health, and productive work. So my goal is to really improve the economy. My goal is to really promote entrepreneurship, to promote businesses. If you look at our country today, most of the businesses are occupied by foreigners. I am not against foreigners, but we should build the capacity of our people to encourage them to have access to credit, microfinancing, And those that have important portfolios, we can help them, support them to have credit from the bank, loans from the bank to expand their businesses. So my focus is going to be developing the capacity of indigenous businesses, like we did Abdoulaye Wade, His Excellency, former President Abdoulaye Wade did in Senegal. When he came, and even Abdou Diouf and Macky Sall, when they came to power, the first thing they did was to take care of the people, giving them livelihoods, sustainable livelihoods, empowering them to access resources, and also ensuring that their rights are protected at different levels. So how are the rights going to be protected? We are going to have regulations that will give them opportunities to register businesses, and also my goal would be best to see you cannot eliminate realistically corruption, but you can curb corruption. So we will be establishing the Corruption Commission. It has been hanging for so many years. The African Union in the 2063 agenda had it as a pillar that African governments must work towards curbing corruptions. So my goal is not going to be commission. We have had so many commissions. What are the results of the commissions? No reports, no accountability. So I'm not going to waste my time on commissions. Of course, it will be part and parcel of the corruption agenda, but we will be looking at how best we can have the productive sectors up and running. Agriculture. When I was young, I'm going to Amity High School, Sankule Kunda and Yorobele Kunda, around that area, there were rice growing areas. Sankuya and all this LRR, CRR. But today, if you go to the Jahal Pachar is now, I think, owned by a private entrepreneur. So we want to really have taking back our country. My goal is for us to take back our country from the democratic principles, where we can also create jobs, and where we can also support those who are at the back way, who already have gone back way. When I was as a vice president, I engaged the international donor community. I was against them bringing back those children here. You bring them here to what? There is no job. So I engaged them, and I was able to convince them to train them, give them skills, and allow them to work for a number of years in their countries. And then when they can come with the expertise and experience and the resources they need. So it's going to be people-centered. For me, it's going to be citizen-centered. And finally, my goal would be to really engage. I like engaging people. Fortunately, I thank Allah for making me a humble person. The reason why I'm humble, I found my parents humble. And the reason why I continue to be humble is the fact that I'm inspired by what my parents taught me and what the Quran has said. You come with nothing, you go with nothing. You come with nothing, you go with nothing. The only thing that you take is the good that you do in your grave. And I really want to go, when I go to my grave, that I sleep peacefully, and that you continue to pray for me. I want to have a legacy where you can look behind and say, yes, amal na ko fi jaar, mu nekk jàmm ak salaam si réew mi, ci askan bi, ci njaboot gi, ak ci suñu diggante ak yeneen réew mi. The other encompassing, which is also talks about the goal, is part of the goal, is to really have good neighborhood in the region and the sub-region. We are in Senegal. If you look at geographically, we are in Senegal. So we need to have good relationship, and we will promote trade. There is so much money in the African Trade Agreement that we can utilize, we can bring for the use of Gambians in the business area or in any other area that they want to do. So we will be working very closely with our sub-region, our region. And since women are not many in politics, even in Europe, they are really not many. So my voice, wherever I go, I will continue to really raise the voice and visibility of women and young people. So you can take me not only as a president, but also as your ambassador in every endeavor of life. Thank you.